Welcome to Broadway Interludes presented by Art Lab. I'm your host, Megan Chockless, and I'm joined by the wonderful Thom Sesma. Thank you for being here, Thom.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, you are no stranger to Art Lab. You were most recently seen in the virtual Broadway revival of Amour. What was that experience like?
Working on Amour was so fantastic in a weird way because it was just such a brand new way to do things. You know, it was a virtual musical, shot in front of a green screen. The entire cast, we were all in our apartments. We were all, no one was together. Working, creating a vivid piece of musical theater, I guess, is what it was. But it wasn't television, it wasn't film, it wasn't theater. It was something brand new. And one of the things that made it so special was that once we all got on board, which took a while, there were no rules. I mean, within the confines of our little Zoom box, we could do anything that served the play. When you have to make that little bit of extra effort, that little bit of extra belief that maybe this will work, in the confines of the box, in front of the green screen with the lights and the lens. When you discovered the way to do something new and you realize, oh, that works, let me try it again. Oh, that feels good, let me try it again. Ooh, that feels really good, let me try it again. It just liberates you, it frees you up in a way that I will tell you, I certainly didn't expect to find during a pandemic, during a lockdown, when we're all living in a little bubble. I didn't expect that there would be a way to discover a new way of working, a new connection with a different medium that I'd never experienced before. So I found it incredibly liberating, incredibly stimulating. I learned a whole new skill set, which I still use, and man, we just had fun. I was very, very proud of what we did. I think it played for a week. And I got to see it a couple times. I was so happy with it. Met some really nice people too.
Now, I saw on your Instagram that you go to the theater a lot. I thought it would be fun to ask, are there any shows that you're most excited about this upcoming season?
Oh, I'm going to give you my stock answer, and I'm really, really sincere about this.
Okay.
I am pretty much excited about any show that happens because people are going to work, because you might see something you have never seen before. I was talking about this earlier with Meg. I was talking about there are two types of theater, and they're both of immense value. One type of theater is where what you're watching is the best way of doing something that you're familiar with. I mean, the most obvious example would be the revival of a Broadway musical. Let's say off the top of my head, Hello, Dolly, with Bette Midler. Right? That was the best production. Oh my God, that's so wonderful. I enjoyed myself so much. This is Hello, Dolly, as it should always be done, and it makes me feel good about myself. That's wonderful. It just makes me feel good. I spent 3 hours and $5 million to see this show, and I don't regret it at all. That's one way. The other way is when you see a show that shows you something you haven't ever seen before. And the show might not be entirely successful, but you have learned something new. I just saw a show last week, which is a perfect example of something that I hadn't seen before. Even though on the surface it looks like something I had seen before, a naturalistic play, right? But Cost of Living at Manhattan Theatre Club just took my breath away. It taught me a lot, not just about the theater. It taught me a lot about myself. It's a hard play. It's a tough play. You go through moments of absolute discomfort watching it, pain, enjoyment. It's diverting. It's brilliantly written. It's a near perfect play. But most importantly, it's a play and a story with characters I have never seen on stage before. I would like to be as excited about the rest of the season as I am for that, but man, that one's going to be hard to beat. It's really, really an extraordinary piece of theater.
Now, out of all of the roles that you've played, Which has been your favorite?
This is a difficult... Out of all the roles that I've played, which has been my favorite? That question is like asking, if you have children, which is your favorite child, you know,
Yeah.
which is your favorite dog, which is your... You know, in my career, I've had the very, very unexpected privilege of playing a lot of the roles that would have been on my dream list if I ever had a dream list. And to tell the truth, when that question is asked of me, you know, what are your dream roles? That's my stock answer. It's like, it's always the role that I'm doing. And a few times I've walked away from those interviews and I've said, is that just a stock answer? Are you just saying that for the camera? Are you just saying that for the pencil and the pad? And I realized, no, it's not, because if I don't feel that way, I'm not going to serve the play. But, oh gosh, having said all that, I am going to pick one. Just for you,
Yay.
Because we're such good old friends.
Of course.
Last year I did a play at Second Stage by Rajiv Joseph called Letters of Suresh. And I played a 95-year-old Japanese Catholic priest. And it represented a kind of apotheosis for me in terms of my work as an actor, in terms of being a Roman Catholic, a man of faith. I'm a devout Catholic. Being a man who's spent most of his life attempting to connect with other people, with the world, with God. That's what that role was. It was a 12-minute monologue. That was my appearance on stage at the end of the play. It was a surprise entrance because nobody expected to see this character that they'd all been talking about for almost 90 minutes suddenly appear on stage. And it was challenging because I'm not really good with monologues. It was intimidating and challenging, but I was working with a remarkable playwright who taught me a lot about his relationship with the play. I was working with one of my favorite directors, Maya Dralas, who I had worked with before. I was working at one of my favorite theaters, Second Stage. And it was the first live theater that I had done post-pandemic. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Now, speaking of dream roles, is there still a dream role that you would like to play? I don't know how to...
Actually, yes. No, I am going to say yes. You know, because now I'm older now, and I'm getting close to, you know, taking down the sign on my storefront. There was a role that I always wanted to play that I don't think I'll ever get the chance to play now, only because I'm too old for it. I think I'm too old for it. Maybe I can do it at the Actors Retirement Home out in New Jersey. But it's the role of Guido in 9 by Maury Eston and Arthur Kopit. It was one of the first musicals I saw on Broadway. It's incredible. It's probably, for lots of reasons, it's probably not going to be done for a very, very long time because it's about misogyny. It's not a celebration of it, certainly not. As a matter of fact, it's very harsh in its judgment of this misogynistic character. He's got this song about being in love. It's his fantasy where it's all working out for him, even though he knows that it's not. As I said, the show will probably not be done because I'm not sure anyone wants to get into his mind at this point in our culture. But the musical 9 taught me a lot about theater, taught me a lot about acting. I saw Raul Julia do it. I mean, that performance, that central performance was the kind that teaches an actor how to act. It was epic. It was amazing and truthful and intimate all at once. Anyway, 9 was one of those pieces. And yeah, my great regret is I don't have regrets about missed opportunities, but if I did, that would be at the top of the list.
You know what, Thom? I would love to hear you sing something from 9. Would you please sing for us?
Well, you know, I just happen to have some music with me.
All right. Logan Medland on piano.
and nights made of dreams and of wishes that never come true. I couldn't be lonely if I could be only with you and you and you. Nice.
Wow. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for giving me an excuse to sing that song. I don't sing much like that anymore.
Well,
Now
you
that I'm
should.
older, I sing a lot of character roles. I did the engineer in Miss Saigon, and I did Sweeney Todd, and those are real heavy on what I call the overacting, spit on other people, and make buggy eyes acting world. And it really had an impact on my voice. I don't get the opportunity to sing kind of legit ballads anymore, which I used to sing quite a bit. So any excuse to jump back into music like that is a welcome one. So thank you very much for asking.
Of course, and Art Lab would be happy to have you back anytime to sing any song.
I gotta
you'd
tell
like.
you, Art Lab just has to ask, and I will come running. What do they used to say in vaudeville? Have tuxedo, will travel. Here I am. You hear a knock at the door, that's me.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. This has been Broadway Interludes presented by Art Lab. See you next time.